Hello all, welcome to the Strength of Material lecture series. So in our previous session we just see what is the part of this subject and why we need to study the strength of materials and what are the basic elements which consist of strength of materials which we have studied. For example, we just discussed what is meant by stiffness. Stiffness means it shows that the ability to withstand the load without major deformation. Okay, it is a resistive material, the ability to withstand the load, which is what you call that stiffness. Following that, we just seen the example of stresses and the strains. Stresses means whenever the load act over the area, it can resist some kind of deformation. That resist is what you call that stress. And strain means whenever the load is act over the body, there is a change in length. Okay, and we just need to take a calculation between change in length and the original length. So these are the things which we have discussed in our previous session. Okay, this lecture series, in continuation with the previous session, we are going to see about compressive stress and the compressive strain, and tensile stress and the tensile strain. Okay, so first of all, we just need to study what do you mean by tensile stress and what do you mean by tensile strain. Generally, tensile is mean by it is a axial forces. There is an axial force which has been pulled over the two different area of the part. That is what you call the tensile stress. Okay, so here whenever a body subjected to axial pull, the two different forces which try to pull the material, okay, that is what you call that axial pull. So here when a member is subjected to equal and opposite axial pulls, the length of the member it may be increased. Okay, the stress induced at any cross section of the member is called tensile stress. Okay, the stress induced at any cross section of the member is called tensile stress. Okay, here the image which you have seen, this is an object which is subjected to axial pull. One is in left hand direction, another one is in right hand direction. Because of the axial pull, what happened, there is some stresses has been induced, that is what you call the tensile stress. Here it can be mentioned like tensile stress is equal to tensile load by area. Okay, and similarly there is a tensile strain, there is a increase in length divided by original length. Here when you taken the second case, that is a compressive stress and the compressive strain. Compressive stress means there is a force which has been act over the body, but it is an axial, but what it has been act is there is it going to compress the ends of the object. Here you see there is an object which has been there, the forces act over at one end and the forces act over at another end, which try to compress over the body at this left end and the right end. So because of the axial pushes, this is what you call that the member becomes shortened. Okay, so that is what you call that stress, that is what you call that compressive stress. Okay, so it can be mentioned like compressive stress is equal to compressive load by area, hence it can be represented by P by A. And similarly for compressive strain, here tensile strain there is an increase in length, wherever in compressive strain it is a decrease in length. That is what E is equal to decrease in length divided by original length. And shear stress and shear strain, whenever the axial pull which tries to push over the part, okay, so whenever the axial pull is over either by left hand direction or either by right hand direction, because of that what happened, this object cross sectional area which tending to slide the one part of the body over the another part. Okay, here there is a two kind of bars which has been acted. Here whenever the axial pull is there, it is the forces act tangentially at any one cross sectional plane. Okay, at any one cross sectional plane what happen, it tending to slide the one part of the body and over the other part of the body. The stress induced in that section is what you call that shear stress, and following that it is a shear strain. And volumetric strain means, for example, let us take a cylinder is an volume. Okay, here there is a change in volume. When I am trying to giving a load, it may be either there is a change in volume divided by original volume.